So hello guys. So today we're gonna be reacting to his story, and okay, I guess let's just get into it.
My dad walked into my room while I was mid-build in Minecraft and unplugged my computer. He showed me a text from my shop teacher saying I was failing. You
Wait, what do you mean? This bro just said shop teacher. It's not school, bro. It's school teacher, not shop teacher. Holy mistake.
can't even pass the one class where you build things with your hands. No more computer until your grade comes up. When my history teacher
Okay, now this guy needs to do homework. Okay, bro, you can just do your homework next week. Then you chill. It's not deep.
assigned a project to build a 3D model of a famous landmark, my dad lit up. Good. It's about time you put your hands on something
Wait, wait. Why is his dad in class if he needs to do his homework? Did anyone get me?
real. You better come home with an A. He dropped me off at my partner's house that first night and watched me walk in carrying a bag of cardboard and glue sticks.
Oh.
His mom met us at the door and said, "Table's cleared off. Get to work." My dad saw us sit down through the window and drove away smiling. We tried. My friend glued his fingers together twice and
Why was this bro out of running when bro just entered the house? Like very sad.
our Colosseum looked like a shoebox someone stepped on. His mom went upstairs and my friend looked at me and said, "Just build it in Minecraft." Within an hour we had columns, arches, and an arena.
Okay, why is that actually good? I even though I never played Minecraft that much, it actually looked good.
Floor with tiered seating. We threw the cardboard in the trash that night. Every night after that, we went straight to the laptop. My dad would ask how it was going, and I'd tell him we were making real progress. He'd squeeze my shoulder and say, "That's my boy." One night, my friend's mom came outside and told him, "Your son won't stop until it's perfect. He's been pushing my boy the whole time." She wasn't wrong. She just didn't know what we were building. A few days before the deadline, my dad found the extra supplies he'd bought sitting untouched in my room. He thought I'd forgotten them. He drove to my friend's house and walked in carrying the bag with a smile on his face. We were on the couch with the laptop between us. No cardboard, no glue.
Okay, wait. So if he was playing Minecraft, I'm building the project. Why is there nothing on the screen?
No model, just Minecraft. His smile dropped. He looked at the screen, then at the bag in his hands. "I've been telling everyone how hard you've been working." He set the bag down. I don't know why I expected anything different. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the week. When presentation day rolled around, I walked into class with the laptop in my hands. My teacher stood at the front and announced, "All of your parents were invited to watch your presentations." I looked at the back row and
Okay. So let me guess. His dad's not gonna come or come. Yeah, never mind. Too late.
saw my dad sitting with his arms crossed. I let out a deep breath. My friend and I walked to the front and I turned the screen around. We built an exact replica of the Colosseum block by block. Every arch, every
Why does that look like the Coliseum from Block Street? Okay, my bad.
column, every seat in the arena. The room went quiet. My teacher looked at the screen for a long time and said, "This is the most creative project I've seen in years." She gave us an A. That night, my dad walked into my room and plugged the computer back in. He stood in the doorway for a second. "I'm sorry I doubted you. That's my boy." My dad walked into my room.
Yeah, now bro's happy. Yeah, next day is gonna
I
be
walked
nice.
into
Okay,
Grandma's house
okay, let's see the next one.
in a full suit after spending the last 8 hours sitting in a parked car. I kicked off my shoes and she immediately
Okay, bro. Why is this guy sitting in a parked car if he was next to his grandma's house?
wandered over with a plate of cookies. "How's my hardworking accountant? I'm so proud of my star boy." She pinched my cheek. "You know, still crunching those numbers." I lied and took a bite. "But I have to go back in an hour to work overtime." I checked my watch because I had a real job interview lined up in an hour. If I got it, I could finally stop pretending. Grandma pulled up a chair and watched me eat while I mentally rehearsed interview answers. I've bragged to the whole bingo club
Okay, yeah, you know what? Let me just comment this guy, bro. With like his video. Oh shit. Okay, let's just watch it. Okay.
about my grandson, the accountant who works for Nike. I smiled and told her fake stories like I had for the last 12 months. But then my watch beeped. "Sorry, Grandma, work is calling." But when I looked for my
Yeah, cap.
shoes by the door, they were gone. Grandma smiled at me. "You've been working too hard lately. I hid your shoes so you'd have no choice but to stay here, eat up, and rest." She gave me a plate of homemade chocolate cake and pressed the fork into my hand. My hands shook as I put the plate down, but
Why was this guy holding like the fork like that? Wait.
homemade chocolate cake and pressed the fork into my hand. My
Look, why?
hands
Like, why is he holding the fork like that, bro? Like, hold it properly.
shook as I put
And it's not even a fork, it's a spoon.
The plate down, but she was already taking off my suit and putting a hand-knitted sweater over my shoulders. Just spend a few hours with your grandma, please. I looked at my watch. Even if I left right now, I'd have to sprint and show up for the interview sweating through my suit. I spotted my shoes behind her and lunged, but she stepped in front of me. What's all the rush? Surely they'd understand if their star employee missed one overtime shift. She held up the chocolate cake again. I looked at her soft, proud face and wanted to cry. The truth would break her heart, but
Okay, so if you want to cry, just cry. My bad. My bad.
when I looked at my watch, I realized I had no choice. I don't work as an accountant, Grandma. She froze as I continued. I lost my job. I've been sitting in a parked car and lying to everyone for a year, but I have an interview right now for a real job. I need to leave right now. Please. She went quiet, and I expected her to cry, but she just gave me my suit jacket. I got fired 3 times before I was 40. I know how you feel. She hugged me at the door. Now go get that job. No matter what, you'll always be my star boy. I sprinted out, chewing the bite of chocolate cake I took for good luck. I walked into
Okay, now, but let's just see the next one.
when I saw
Holy,
my
holy advertisement. No, what the hell?
mother with dementia had redecorated my childhood room. I knew something was very wrong. I drove up to check on her at her old house, and my room had 2 twin beds in it. I was an only child. She beamed at her work. Do you like it? I put clean sheets on for Danny too. Do you know when he's coming by? My car keys shook in my hand, because there has never been anybody in my family named Danny. I had to find out who my mother thought was sleeping in that bed. Mom, I'm an only child. She shook her head as she set the table. Don't start. You know he hates when you do that. She put a third fork down and lined it up square with the edge of the mat. Tell your brother to come inside before it gets dark. My mother
Okay, so if his brother was here, we could have saw his brother, and why is the story actually like feel creepy?
could not tell me what year it was and had called me by her dead brother's name twice on that phone that morning, but there was nothing foggy about how she said that. When she turned back to the stove to finish dinner, I snuck into the den and pulled her photo albums down off the shelf. There was no second boy in any of the pictures. When I got to my 7th birthday party, I saw 2 paper hats on the table in front of me, but the chair next to me was empty. The hair stood up on my arms, and I flipped back through every album, counting at least 50 photos where I was sitting next to an empty chair. I walked back into the kitchen, clutching an album. Mom, what happened to him? She stopped with the napkins in her hands and looked up. Nothing happened. You stopped playing with him. Both of my legs went out as it dawned on me. She didn't make him up. I did. He was the brother I wanted, wasn't he? She nodded. You wanted a brother so bad, and I couldn't give you one, so you brought Danny home yourself. I looked behind her and pictured the imaginary brother I made up when I was 4, the one her brain decided was real. Instead of breaking her heart, I told her about the time Danny fell out of the tree in the backyard at my 7th birthday party, and she laughed like she'd seen it herself. When I saw my mother,
Oh my damn, bro. That was not bad story.
I flew to Japan for a trivia game show.
Okay, bro. I can see the title and say, I accidentally became a sumo wrestler.
But when I walked out on stage, there was no podium, just a sumo ring. I pulled up the email, and my heart sank, because my translation app had gotten one word wrong, and now I was stuck here. I shook my head and yelled, "No way I'm fighting sumo!" Then the host shouted into his mic, and my app read it out. Survive 60 seconds against our undefeated champion. Win $10,000. Wait, you said $10,000? I'd spent my last savings on the flight, so I wiped my eyes and let them wrap me into a sumo diaper. The lights dropped, and the app
Okay, bro. If my camera was on right now, I would have done the speed celebration, bro. What the hell? This guy wrapped his diaper, man. What the hell? Okay, I started. Let's just watch.
Avalanche walked out. He was 400 pounds, slapping his belly twice and roaring with his eyes squeezed shut while the whole crowd screamed with him. I stood there in my crooked diaper and cried even more, thinking I was about
What the heck is this, bro?
to die to a man who closes his eyes to celebrate. The bell rang, and his first charge launched me into the front row. But the clock was still running, so 3 grandmas shoved me back in. So I ran in circles just trying to escape while the crowd howled. But then I noticed something. Every time he closed in to finish me, he stopped and celebrated first. 2 slaps, the roar, eyes squeezed shut. So I stopped running, because for 2 whole seconds, the biggest man in Japan couldn't see me. The clock hit 20 seconds, the crowd started chanting for me, and the Avalanche's face went dark red. He backed all the way up, and the host screamed, "Nobody has ever survived the final charge." My heart was slamming, because 1 second early, and he'd open his eyes and flash
Yeah, this is absolute. Okay. What the hell is this? Some stupid. I don't know. I don't get it. Bro, I like this guy genuinely, but this, like, what is this guy making, bro?
At me. He slapped his belly twice, roared with his eyes squeezed shut, and charged. I stepped sideways. 400 pounds of showboat
And this guy just fell, and he probably broke all his bones, or maybe not.
thundered past me and out of the ring, one giant foot slamming into the clay. The buzzer sounded. The building went silent, and the host grabbed my arm and screamed, "Ring out!" The Avalanche sat there blinking, because the only match he'd ever lost, he lost with his eyes closed. They handed me a giant check, so I typed, "Thank you for having me," on my phone. But what my app said into the mic was, "I'll be back next week." The crowd went insane, and the host booked the rematch before I could type another word. Now I fight sumo wrestlers every Friday night, and I still don't know how to say no in Japanese. I flew to Japan. I walked into class early and saw Elliot.
Okay, why didn't I speak for a long time? They just, yeah. I put, he put something in her water. What, bro? Poison? Uh,
At Ms. Worley's desk, pouring something clear and sharp smelling into her water bottle. When he saw me, he slowly pulled his hoodie open so I could see the weapon on his hip.
oh,
I sat down and stared at the board while other kids filed in and thought about what he would do if I opened my mouth. Ms. Worley walked in smiling. "Good morning, everyone." She reached for the bottle and my hand shot up.
okay, bro. Yeah, if it's a teacher, she would probably take her bottle to home, not keep it in class and just go home and do nothing.
"Can I get a bathroom pass?" She sighed. "We just started. I really can't wait." She waved me out, but the only way to the office was past the window in the classroom door where Elliot would see me, so I went back inside and sat down. I had to warn her from inside the room somehow. Ms. Worley reached for the bottle again, so I knocked my entire binder off my desk. Papers flew everywhere and half the class turned around. She set the bottle down. "Everything okay back there?" I apologized and picked up my papers slowly. When I sat back,
So, okay, this makes no sense. There should be books, not papers. And what does bro want to write on the paper? Essays like 200 times history, history, history? Probably.
up, Elliot was staring straight at me. I tore a small piece of paper out of my notebook and wrote with shaking hands, "Do not drink the water." Elliot poured something into it, and he has a weapon. I pressed it into the hand of the girl ahead of me. "Ms. Worley only. Don't make it obvious, please."
Okay, bro. This is genuinely something stupid. So he's standing middle of the class and the teacher doesn't say anything. So if it's someone standing there, she'll probably like give them detention or something.
She looked at my face and saw
Oh, now mind. Maybe it was break.
how scared I was. She waited until Ms. Worley walked past and slipped it to her low. Ms. Worley palmed it without stopping, and when she reached the front of the room, she glanced at it and froze. After a few moments, she picked up her phone. "Sorry, I have to take this call." Her voice was
She's probably calling the police, bro.
so steady, I almost didn't believe she had read it yet. She walked out, and the second the door shut, I watched Elliot's hand move to his bag. Then the fire alarm screamed, and Ms. Worley's
Why the file alarm? Alarm. I mean, my bad.
voice came over the intercom. "Everyone out the back right now." We all ran out into the parking lot, and 30 seconds later, Elliot's voice came through the back doors. "Get off me. She deserved it." The police brought him out in handcuffs and put him in a cop car as everyone watched. I finally took a breath. A detective sat me down on the curb, and after I told him everything I saw and did, he closed his notebook. "You saved her life today." I walked into class.
Very smart.
I was swinging from a tree branch, enjoying the breeze, when a rock hit my hands and I slipped off. The neighbor's kid, Wharton, was
If I do the math of the University of the a supernova, logically, okay, bro, what am I saying? So how's the rock falling from up if he threw it on like his face or something? Maybe yeah. I don't know.
smirking with a handful of stones. "If you
And why is this guy's smile was like that?
want to climb trees
That was too cringe.
like a monkey, I'll treat you like one." He hurled another rock and hit my jaw before I could react. I
Oh damn, that would hurt too. Genuinely, if that was me, I would slap the hell out of him.
screamed, "Ow," and instantly stood up, then started climbing the tree to protect myself because Wharton
Why you climb the tree? That's not safe, boy. You could just run. If you climb up the tree, you'll just get stuck like forever.
Was 3 years older. He yelled, "Come down, monkey!" and his rocks kept hitting my legs. But when I reached the top, I was too high for him to hit me. I laughed, seeing every rock fall short, and Wharton's face got redder with each stone he missed. But then suddenly, he smiled. He dropped the rocks and ran away, and my stomach turned because I knew he was planning something. Just as I started climbing down, I saw Wharton come back with a chainsaw. He yanked the cord,
Is he okay?
and the blades immediately started spinning. If you love the
Oh hell no, bro! What the hell is this?
tree so much, you can come down with it. He started cutting the trunk before I could react, and I felt the whole tree start shaking under me as the blades whirred. I gripped the branches in fear because this was a 70-foot fall, and I
So okay, guys. So we'll do one more after this. And what the hell is happening right now, bro?
screamed at Wharton to stop. He laughed. "You're about to crash, monkey," and pushed the blades deeper. The trunk cracked and started tilting, while I was still holding onto the top leaves. There were no bushes to fall into, so I knew I was dead. But then I saw a tree, just close enough to leap. So as
This bro just climbed up more. He was like more down now. He climbed up more.
my tree fell, I jumped. I flew through the air and smacked into the trunk, hugging it with everything I had. I looked down and saw Wharton clenching his jaw, angry I'd survived. But he was so focused on me, he forgot about the falling tree. He looked up and saw the entire thing crash on him with the loudest thud. I looked at his legs
Okay, bro. This guy needs to run. What the hell is wrong with this guy?
sticking out from underneath, his chainsaw still buzzing in the grass, and knew Wharton will never throw a stone at me again, or at anything, to be honest. I was swinging from
If you are busy, mom.
my nephew
What the hell, is bro? Okay.
shoved my daughter to the ground and swung at the piñata that was set up for her 7th birthday. While she cried her eyes out, he calmly collected all the candy that fell out, ignoring all the adults cursing at him. His brand new white sneakers stepped over the smaller kids for the 4th year in a row, and he smoothed his fresh haircut like a trophy. My daughter pushed herself up off the grass and came to stand behind my leg while looking straight down. My hands were shaking with anger, but I reminded
But can I get something? Can they just tell his parents? Because this guy is like an adult and that guy is like some 7-year-old or forming like a kid.
myself, he's just a kid. So I brought out the second
Okay, bro. Why was I judging him so early?
piñata, the big gold one I'd built myself. But
Yeah, look. I'm gonna guess it. He's gonna break it again. Yeah, look.
instead of candy, it was filled with something else, something that would teach him a lesson. We started singing Happy Birthday again, and my daughter stepped up with the little bat, but he ripped it out of her hands again. "Move, you're too small, you'll miss." She turned to me for help, but I nodded to let him have it, because I knew it was only a matter of time before he regretted what he did to my daughter. He shoved his sleeves up, planted his feet,
Okay, what the hell was that thing? Like the thing I saw earlier. Let's see.
and wound up huge while every parent stared at me like I'd lost my mind. One mom leaned in and whispered, "Aren't you going to stop him?" But I knew something she didn't. He swung, clipped the corner, and the gold piñata jerked hard on the rope but held its shape. I breathed a sigh of relief because my plan was only going to work if he swung again, and now he was finally going to learn his lesson. But suddenly, he tossed the bat in the grass and started to walk off, and my whole plan almost
What the hell you mean?
left with him, until one of the little kids giggled, "Ha ha, he couldn't do it!" And he immediately spun back around faster than the speed of sound. He snatched up the bat and snarled,
Not speed of sound, but speed of light.
"I could have cracked it already. I was just holding back." He reared back and swung with everything he had, and the bat punched clean through, splitting the whole thing open over his head.
Oh, what the hell is that? Honeybees?
But there was never candy in there. I'd packed it with 8 pounds of flour and a bag of pink glitter, and it all came down at once over the fresh haircut, the collar, and those white sneakers he wouldn't stop bragging about. He stood there caked head to toe, spitting flour
Okay, why does this bro look like that?
while every kid screamed laughing at the big cousin and ran off screaming to his mom, the candy he'd hoarded all afternoon spilling out of his pockets into the flour. My daughter walked over, scooped a handful out of the flour, and held it up over her head like the trophy he thought it was. My nephew shoved my
Okay, so I guess that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching if you guys did. And see you for the next video. Bye. Bye, chat.